Welcome back to Hidden Power. This is a Pokemon podcast. Pokemon Day is in sight. This is the big prediction episode. Our goal today is to predict the 2024 main series Pokemon game. Are we going to see a Johto remake? Maybe a Unova sequel? Let's Go Johto, Black 3 and White 3, Legends Unova, Scarlet and Violet 2. There's a lot of possibilities, and we're going to break it all down here today. My name is DustyGogoat. Of course, I'm with the LumiosePost.
Hello.
And SoulSilverArt.
What's up?
So we're gonna do this in three parts. We got news and existing game updates. That is what they always give us in a Pokemon Presents. Then we're also gonna be talking about any sort of speculation, right? What kind of spin-off Pokemon games could we see in 2024? And then finally, the big one, the big Pikachu. What Pokemon game, main series, core series game are we gonna expect to see in 2024? Is it going to be Unova? Is it going to be Johto? Could it be a Kalos game? Are we going to get a sequel to Scarlet and Violet? Who knows? State of the end. But Zach, take us through the news and updates. What are you predicting?
Well, first, I do want to touch on, there's like some discrepancy with the time on this present. So apparently Sarah B reported that it was 25 minutes long. And so that started spreading. But then that was removed from their site. They like removed. And so there's no like proof that it's 25 minutes now, but you know, so
it's gonna be around there though.
Well, the neat thing is, like, I feel like that's important because like the trailer that revealed both Brilliant Diamond, Shiny Pearl, and Legends Arceus, two main series games, mind you, was 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
So for this to be 25 would give me a little bit more of that copium directly into my veins.
It's true because they have so much more going on now. You know, we can't. That's the thing. Like every new presents is gonna be around 20 minutes. I said this on Twitter, but it's just like,
wasn't it 40 minutes
all
last
of these
year?
Games 40?
I think last year was
the day we
like
get a 40
minutes.
minute one. I'm gonna cry.
I think we did, and most of it was like junk.
Could you imagine,
bro?
I'm being serious.
That's serious. Like a Nintendo Direct, like full on.
Yeah, because you're right. Nintendo Directs are normally 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll look. Let's see. It was last year was 2023, right?
Yeah,
that was the year. I always forget.
Yeah. So
I think 28 is like the longest we've ever got.
The point I'm trying to make is I think usually I don't really care how long it is because typically what happens is it's filled up with Pokemon Unite information, Pokemon Go information. Pokemon Cafe
remix
was
25 minutes as well.
Okay.
The one in February at least was. Now the August
one. That was
one,
the DLC one, I think.
Yeah, that was the one that revealed the DLC.
Which
August one was 35 minutes.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, there you go.
That is pretty,
and we didn't even get that much info in it, is my point.
In the August one, I think we did.
Yeah, we did. We got the reveal of Diplin, and Archaladon, yeah. And they did like a bunch of. They did that thing where like they do a trailer, and then at the end of the trailer they have a girl narrating, and she's like, "This is Archaladon. Archaladon is a Pokemon that evolves, you know, where like not only do they do the trailer, but then they kind of do an explanation for it."
Can I just say those are the best ones? Like that's the best.
Agreed.
That's the absolute best.
It seems like those are typically our August ones though, because the same thing was with Legends and BDSP was revealed in February, and then we got the more in-depth trailer in August.
These are like shock and awe ones on Pokemon Day. Right. It's like, this is what you're getting, and that's it. It's not.
They usually don't even talk after. Like it usually the direct. They don't like say thank you for watching the presents. They just end it right after.
I think what I'm really excited for is whatever the new. There's usually some sort of celebration trailer. The one we got last year, with what was it? It was like, the 1,000 Pokemon. Catching all the Pokemon.
Was that?
I watched those back so much,
present,
and I use them in videos as well. So those are always fun to get.
I don't think that was for Pokemon Day though.
I think we're definitely gonna get some Pokemon Sleep information. Do you think we're gonna get any information about Worlds?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think they'll run.
What are you predicting, Zach?
I just think they're gonna run another. It might even be the same promo. I just think they're gonna like remind people. By the way, Worlds is
happening.
You know, because the Worlds reveal was at Worlds, right? Yeah. And sure, you have news outlets reporting on it, but it wasn't really like an official statement to the public from the Pokemon Company. It was really just kind of made there at Worlds. Yeah. So I feel like this is the one to like say, hey, you know, this is what it is. Maybe I say if we're lucky, but we're not going to Worlds, so if the people who are going are lucky, maybe they'll announce some things they're doing, like in the Yokohama Worlds, they did like an SSN. They brought in like a cruise ship that you could go on and battle on, pop up Pokemon centers. They might have like that kind of information.
Well, okay, how about this? Yeah, okay, all right. That sounds good to me. Does this... I actually don't know where to put this in the category, right? If we're talking about NSO ports, NSO is an existing service. So, you want to talk about it now? Is this an update that they could add?
Sure. Yeah, it's an update.
Okay.
Is it happening?
Classic Pokemon games on the Nintendo Switch. Do we think it's going to happen?
I do not think that it will be NSO. I don't know why people think it would be NSO. I don't know.
Well, so
I think the hope is that, and I'm sure we're going to get into this more later, but when they when they made a little 15-second like trailer for the presents, it's just Pikachu. It's what we just watched, where Pikachu like runs up as like that.
Yeah.
It's playing music from
I'll
Gold,
play it right now.
Silver, and Crystal. Yeah, go ahead and play it.
This is in the trailer. You guys can hear it right now.
At the end.
This is just for our nostalgia.
You guys can't hear it, but
we cannot hear it.
The listeners can hear it. Pikachu's bouncing. All right, so that's
so
what
the
is
idea is
like.
Maybe that's a hint that the Gen 2 games are coming to
like remake. Yeah, so if it's Gen 2 music, is it a hint at the Gen 2 games being ported to the Nintendo Switch, or is it a hint that the Gen 2 games are being remade? And I think Pokemon is being very deliberate. Cheeky? Oh, well, here's the other thing. If you go to this trailer on YouTube, there's a field, and when you upload a YouTube video, you can designate which video game you're discussing in the video, and whoever has uploaded it to the Pokemon YouTube channel has specifically designated Pokemon Gold and Silver. So again, very deliberate. This isn't like an accident. They're not just reusing files. It's a very deliberate thing. They're trying to hint us. They're trying to get us to talk about something, and it either means nothing. It literally could mean nothing, but I do think the fact that they indicated that they're talking about Gold and Silver it means something. And I honestly, at this point, would rather get the ports than a botched remake. But we're gonna save the remake talk to the end of the show.
It's tough. It's tough since we're like splitting it up, but giving our own predictions is like I don't know. I agree with you, Dusty, in a way that if we're talking about ports, I think that this is the 25th anniversary of Johto.
Sure.
The anniversaries are a big deal for them. So this is the 25th anniversary, but the problem is that Johto and even Kanto were released at different times back in the day.
Yeah.
So it depends what they go by, So this is the Japanese 25th anniversary of Johto. So to me, I'm like, that would be a good time to port the games to the Switch. Like, I don't think that it'd be like the NSO like subscription thing. I think that they would be just like on the eShop.
Right. Like Yellow.
Just $10. $10 you buy them.
I could see it being either individual purchases on the eShop, or I could see them giving us a third-party Pokemon NSO like channel, if that's what you want to call them. Like every system right now in the NSO, right, gets its own little interface. I could see there being a Pokemon interface, and then that Pokemon interface could have its own, its own rules. Maybe you're not able to download and update or upload the save data. I know there can be some issues with that when it comes to like cloning Pokemon. I know Pokemon's very anti-cloning Pokemon, but I know there's some concerns with that. I don't know. Maybe that's a way they can get around it. I would also be happy with it just a regular purchase though, like straight from the eShop.
Oh yeah,
I think I'd
be thrilled with that.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I would buy day one. 100% purchase.
Maybe that's what they do since it's the 25th anniversary. They go, hey, Gold and Silver's up.
They would have to give us
Yellow are coming later.
That would be my like biggest prediction for Johto stuff.
And maybe they're trying something different, because what they did first was drop Gen 1 on the 3DS, and then they dropped the Gen 2 games later on. But maybe it's a thing where it's like, if they drop the Gen 2 games, that's going to get the initial hype and purchases, and then Kanto being, or Gen 1 being Kanto in the Classic, being second, there's really no fatigue. People are still showing up to buy that because that's like the ultimate nostalgia, right? Even though it's the second iteration, maybe that's like a play on their end, because it seems a little weird that they would drop those out of order. But
yeah, that's the biggest hurdle when it comes to this whole thing is like, okay, but they already did this for the DS, the 3DS, whatever.
But it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, but they didn't do Hoenn, and it's like, well, naturally, then we should be like, getting all of these plus Hoenn, and Hoenn should be like the special thing. You know, like they just went to Crystal before, so it's like, is that all they're gonna do and just like resell it again to us like that?
Yeah, I
don't know.
I think another big hurdle for me though is like, with whether we like it or not, right? BDSP was a experiment, and I think a successful experiment if you were to take a look at its sales numbers. And again, whether we like it or not, I think BDSP was successful and could indicate the direction of these classic games, or us getting access to these classic games. We either, Pokemon either ports these games, or they just give us these glorified, remasters or whatever you want to call it, whatever BDSP was, and then that's how they actually want us to relive those experiences, which is a difference between $60 or a $10 eShop download. And I guess that only really is an issue if we think that these Gen 2 games could hurt the sales of a Gen 2 remake in the future. What do you guys think about that? Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know if there's going to be a Gen 2 remake. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that. Like,
I'm with that.
Unless it's like very far in the future.
Well, I can see a
yeah.
I don't know. I think with the Ilka engine, like you could port any of these games so easily.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Definitely. I think, and especially
like every other year,
these have already been ported to the 3DS, so it can't be much harder to, just make it available on the Switch too. But
I think they're easy enough. They're
Switch
easy to
as well.
Yeah, they're easy to
talk Switch too as well.
They're easy to port.
Yeah, we oughta. So I have two thoughts on that. My first thought is going to get negated by my second thought, but my first thought is that if they do something Gen 2 related, I truly believe it would be something experimental. It would not be a remake, just because we have Gen 2 remakes. But like my wife even asked me this morning, she was like, when there was the Presents announcement, I told y'all this off air, but my wife might be more excited about this than I am. But she's just been bouncing off the walls about it. But she said,
Lumi's keeping a healthy amount of
hype. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm right here.
I am fully expecting nothing more than Ilka-made chibi black and white faithful original super original taste remakes. So that
those images circulating Twitter have been just agonizing.
But she asked me, she was like, "Do you think there's a chance that's both black and white and Johto?" And I said, I told her, I was like, if it is, like, Black and White's going to get the traditional remake, and Johto is going to get the experimental game, because Black and White has not had a traditional remake. Johto has. But all that to say,
which would be cool.
There's a wise man. He was a historian. I do not remember who this was that said this, but this is a quote we've all heard.
It was LeBron
History
James.
is doomed to repeat itself. And I don't know if y'all remember this, but I certainly do. In June of 2020, we had a Pokemon Presents. It was actually, fun fact, the first Pokemon Presents. Previously, they were called Pokemon Directs.
Yeah, that's true.
In this Pokemon Presents sat the president of the Pokemon Company, and behind him, over there, was a Cyndaquil.
I'm glad you're bringing this up.
A Chikorita and a Totodile. And down there was an Espeon and Umbreon. And everybody went, let's go Johto.
Yeah. I was going to say that earlier when we were talking about the music.
And I have not seen a Let's Go Johto game. Yeah. So this all could just be just Pokemon celebrating a game, and it does not hint at Gen 2 ports. It does not hint at Let's Go Johto. It does not hint at Legend Celebi or anything Johto related. And they're just doing it because they own it and they can. Yeah.
I was literally going to say this before when we were talking about the music behind the little promo video.
It's that's their music.
I'm just like, I think that there's someone that's in Game Freak or the Pokemon Company right now that just is so in love with Johto that they just want it everywhere. And that's it. That's all it is.
What?
It's not.
You know what? Can you blame that guy?
No, I can't at all.
And it's true. This
Absolutely.
is the anniversary year of Gold and Silver, so that also would make a lot of sense.
They might even touch on that, right? Like they might even go, "It's the 28th birthday of Pokemon,"
and then they
of the
don't
Pokemon
give us
company.
the ports.
It's also the 25th.
Give us the
birthday
ports. I just
of
want to play
Gold
them.
and Silver.
It's also the 25th anniversary of Pokemon in the United States.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's another thing.
It's
another
huge.
thing we have to talk about too. But
that's when we get to Unova stuff. But yeah.
That's
anyways,
insane.
These small games. So on the Nintendo Switch Online subject, though, to kind of steer away from this conversation, but also to finish this up, is there is there other games, not including the mainline Pokemon games, that could be ported over? You know, like they've ported over Snap and for Nintendo
there's
Online.
so many.
Are there
games.
other ones that they've got left still?
Let me pull this up.
GameCube games for sure.
I mean, main series games. I'm sorry.
No, I just mean Pokemon games like that.
I would love Pinball.
Some have come to Nintendo Switch Online, but some have not.
Pokemon Pinball would be incredible. I love that game so much.
Is that not on?
Pokemon Puzzle League. I think it's is this actually
I think
on
Pokemon
N64?
Pinball is on Nintendo Switch Online.
I think so too. I'm pretty sure.
This is a game that I used to play, it's just a puzzle game, but it is Johto and it is cute. I used to play that. I think they have GBA? They could do Mystery Dungeon, Red Rescue Team, right? Shout out Linky. They could do that. The DS games get a little shaky, but there's plenty of Pokemon games on Game Boy and Game Boy Color that they could bring up onto the NSO if that's what we're talking about.
And the GameCube though too. They could
is the
bring
GameCube?
GameCube
Is the GameCube even
is
on?
GameCube games on Nintendo Switch Online?
That's a good question.
Look, I could see now, this is going to be irrelevant when this goes up, but like for the three of us, there is a Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If they happen to announce GameCube knows tomorrow.
True.
If they happen to announce the GameCube games for that, then maybe on the Presents Day the Pokemon company would go, "Oh, and here's some of our GameCube games."
Pokemon Coliseum.
That'll be neat.
I do think,
which would be insane.
Is that GameCube?
Yeah, those are both GameCube. That's what I was thinking, but I think you're right. I don't think there are GameCube games on there yet. But I do think that if they announced anything like that, it would be in the Nintendo Direct. It wouldn't be in the Pokemon Presents.
That's true, because Stadium, Snap, those were all announced in a Direct.
They were all in the Nintendo Directs. So I don't think that would be the thing. And honestly, tomorrow we'll know the answer for that anyway. But yeah, I just don't. I don't think that's where they would announce that.
Yeah.
Could they bring any other games? I don't know. Maybe Mystery Dungeon would be the biggest things that
most of the Mystery Dungeon games are on the DS though. So then again, that's an issue where that doesn't even exist on NSO. But yeah. So actually, I mean, I think this is related. The Switch 2, the big, people had been speculating that it was going to release at the end of this year. And there was a big rumor that popped up a couple days ago suggesting that the Switch 2 really won't be out until early next year, like March next year, which is wild, but also maybe not that big of a deal. I don't really think it affects Pokemon that much.
According to the rumor, wasn't it, y'all are probably better versed on it than I am. I just saw like people tweeting about it and didn't like read a full article about it.
Yeah, same.
Wasn't it
Headlines.
like they specifically pushed it back because they want more time to develop the games that they were going to launch with it? And so like the console could come out in August, but they're pushing it back because these games can't. And what's the point of releasing a console if you don't have games specifically made for it coming out until 6 months later?
That makes a lot of sense. It also sounds a little bit like a marketing statement, but I think it does make sense. And I think it also is probably also a way to, like, one of the benefits of pushing it back is that there's no issues with stock during the holidays. Like they'll have plenty of systems available, which is what we want. We don't want the system to launch, the Switch 2 to launch, and then not have access to it for a year, or have it be like super expensive. So I'm fine with that. I am kind of fine with that, and I also don't think it affects the Pokemon timeline because whatever game was going to come out this year is going to be on the Switch regardless, probably.
Right.
So
the question is for what's next year. That's the thing.
That's a whole other can of worms.
It is.
Yeah, but it's all really connected to me, at least. I
think it is.
I don't know. I think people this whole time have not been using like too much critical thinking in the, like what game's coming next in 2024 kind of thing. Like we
people are just excited.
Yeah, I get it. We just got Scarlet and Violet and then the DLC, and there's 2 teams. So now this year should be a year where Game Freak themselves are not doing anything, and it should be a third party making a game. That's for 2024. Like that's just the natural progression, because they have to have a break. They have to have time, or not even a break, but a time to make the next game. They're working on the next games right now. So this year should be nothing, but they want to give us something still. So they've set up like this system where they have like a third party do it with like Ilka.
Well, here's the thing. Ilka was a test. I was telling this to Lumi off air. Like Ilka had never made a video game, or right? That's what was reported. Or maybe they had never made a Pokemon game, or they had never.
They never made a mainline Pokemon game for sure. They only had made Pokemon Home.
They had made a game before. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
But not a Pokemon game.
But what I'm thinking, what I told Lumi off.
Yeah, they made a One Piece game.
Did they? Okay.
I think that was after though.
One Piece Odyssey. Yeah, it was. That was 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is, Ilka is a pretty fledgling. Like it's a pretty like young team, right? I think what the move could be, and what could be really exciting, is if Pokemon actually, kind of empties their pockets, works with a very credible veteran development team, right? Then they could give the reins, if we're talking about Bandai Namco, right? Then they could actually give the reins to a Pokemon game, to a team that actually knows what they're doing. And then maybe it's not so scary that a third party team, because all we're going off of is what some of the bad things that we remember in recent memory, right? But there is so much potential. There's so much beautiful potential for a third party Pokemon game, right? And I've been playing.
But
yeah, we still have to look at the precedent.
Stage. We're at like a very early stage.
We're getting into the mainline game topic, and we're still supposed to be talking about the updates to current games.
Whatever. Let's just do it.
Let me just say this. Let me just finish my thought. The reason I was bringing that up is because with the Switch 2 coming out, okay, so the 2024 games would be on the Switch, but then 2025, the team 2 is working on something else, and Legends Arceus came out 3 years ago from 2025. You know what I'm saying? So 3 years development time of team
Feels like yesterday.
2 would be 2025. So team B, their team has their game is probably going to be finished in 2025. When it comes out, I don't know, but it would probably benefit them to release it on the Switch 2 if the Switch 2 is coming out in 2025 as well, or late 2024, whatever it ends up being. Going back to the Switch 2, I didn't expect it to be released early this year. I was always like, I thought
it'd be holiday this year, holiday 2024.
Yeah, I was expecting the reveal to be earlier this year. Like I'm still, even the rumor right now is that it would be revealed next month in March, which now that they're doing the partner direct, it just feels so less likely to me, but that was part of the rumor. It's like they're doing a partner direct in February, and then they are going to reveal the Switch 2 in March, something like that. But I don't know.
Well, so here's the thing. I brought up the Switch 2 and the timeline of that because what I was going to say was, what the heck are they going to release for the next year and a half of just this of the Switch's lifetime, right? When it comes to Pokemon games, maybe this is the perfect year for a cheap knockoff third-party Pokemon game, right? Yeah, boo-hoo. Yes, it would stink to get a Gen 5 game that had no soul. That would stink. But maybe to supplement that, that's when they give us those additional ports, right?
Who says it has to have no soul, though? Like, it could be something great. It's like you
said.
No,
it could be. It definitely could be.
It's like you said, there's a lot of potential for a really great third party to do it.
BDSP also was created during the pandemic, right? It was also rushed out alongside Legends Arceus. It felt like a supplement.
It was also bad.
It was also bad, and but it was like supplemental. I felt like it was like a right, because that's another part of it. We didn't just get BDSP. We got BDSP with Legends Arceus, right? They're two separate things, two separate markets, separate. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
they were the same hype cycle though, so it was like both
exactly
of them were,
same exact hype cycle. So maybe we get an Ilka game, or we get our third party Pokemon game, but alongside that, to supplement it, we get ports. Or maybe there is a game.
I don't think ports can handle is the hype enough thing to do that. Like
I don't know. Ports for me
it's just
are
like
hype.
Oh yeah, they're coming out.
No, but then you play it. I don't know. It excites me.
There'd be hype around it.
There'd be so much hype. Because also, so here's the thing with the ports. The last time we had Pokemon ports, they added locked away content, original content that was locked away. They added it to the game, right? Never before were people able to play Gold, Silver, and Crystal and access Celebi. You could do that now in the Gold, Silver. Well, I guess it's only in Crystal version.
I mean, if they did something like that and it was way bigger, like a bigger scale, I don't know what they would do.
If you play through Gen 3 and you can get Deoxys, you can get Jirachi, right? Those actual old events. There's events in there for Ho-Oh and Lugia. They could unlock those. You can unlock, what is it? Not Mirage Island. Faraway Rock or something, and that's where you get Mew, right? There's so many cool events right? They could unlock all of the e-reader functionality in those Gen 3
Would they
games.
be dropping Fire Red and Leaf Green too?
Possibly. That's what I'm saying. How much fun is that?
I've never played that.
It's a fun game, dude. It's a fun game,
man.
I think the ports mostly the GBA ports have a lot of potential because of all that locked away content.
If they do ports, Soul will finally play a Gen 3 game.
Yeah, possibly.
Maybe.
He said maybe, dude.
It's because I don't know. It depends on how the year is, like what games we get. But my point in saying that there's no hype, I don't mean like that there would be no hype around it. I'm just saying like
it's not new.
It's not part of the hype cycle of it. Like if we're just getting like
there's no theorizing
remake. Yeah, we were getting a third party remake at the end of the year and then just ports in the summer. It's just like, okay, ports are coming. That's cool when it gets here. We have fun. There's nothing to it.
Yeah, maybe I'm just in a different part of my life, but like, I'm trying to think of guys. We could focus on evergreen content on the podcast. It's like I just bought a house and like, I could just chill out and I don't need to do the grind. We can just like play old Pokemon games and like that'd be sick. It could be like a retro podcast. It'd be so much fun.
I mean, yeah, it'd be fun. No offense, I'd rather they just reveal Gen 10 for this year,
Yeah.
I'd rather see the new batch of starters.
For sure. And that's coming next year. Next year. 2025. Literally in 1 year from now, we will be getting the Gen 5 starters revealed to us. The Gen 10. The Gen 10 starters revealed.
Gen 5 starters were revealed about 15 years ago, but also we know that we're going to get Go, Sleep, Masters, Unite stuff.
Yes.
I don't know if there's any
sleep home.
Go to
go
sleep,
home.
Go home.
Go home.
Sleep.
We're gonna get go home and sleep.
Then wake up and smile.
Yeah.
No,
That's true. Smile is a game.
We know.
Isn't it?
So Unite apparently has like leaks about Koraidon coming into it, like in the data mine for it.
Miraidon?
I think it's Koraidon.
Miraidon. Yeah, you might
That's
be
it.
right.
I don't know, man.
I know that Miraidon's coming.
I don't play Unite, but either way, they're gonna announce one or both of those. Masters EX, they're probably gonna be like, oh look, here's this guy. He's got this Pokemon.
Here's the construction worker in the Unova game who won't let you go to the bridge.
We're gonna get a whole.
And he's got a pit of.
Here's Heartbreaker Charles with his triple battle mons.
Here's Camper Frederick from the third. Like it's just something random.
Then they're definitely gonna be like, Pokemon Go, please let us still be relevant. Here's this, please. We know that we've, angered our entire fan base by removing the remote passes, but please, there'll be that. Pokemon
I'm expecting
Concierge got announced earlier this week to have more episodes. They might give us a little teaser at that.
Yes, for sure.
Obviously, like we said, Worlds. They might touch on the TCG because they did do that in last year's Direct because they were doing the 151 set. But that might have just been because it was the original set. Kadabra was coming back. So they honestly may not touch on TCG this time around.
I don't know because the whole what was the Gen 5 set? I forget what it's called.
Is there a Gen 5 set coming out?
What is it called? I don't know.
Listen, TCG does not predict new games.
No,
TCG.
It
never has.
I mean, okay, but
it literally never has. I've watched I've watched the cycles.
I'm pretty sure on Pokemon Day, there is a TCG set that's dropping, or it's a box that's dropping, where it is a promo card of Lugia, Ho-Oh, and Suicune.
Look,
coupled with them using the, look, I'm just saying TCG sometimes.
But it never has in the past. What is this?
Oh yeah, that's right.
What does it say? Mew?
Oh crap!
You've now done that. But
I've now done it's so many.
I forget what it's called, but it was like a gimmick in the Gen 5 cards.
What does it say? The return of Mew?
The return of a spec.
Oh, a spec.
Yeah, it's like a Gen 5 gimmick they had in the cards, like tag team, EX break,
but it's never. I've seen this cycle. Like I remember, like 3 years ago, people were
2024.
Getsis is in the TCG.
I don't know, Dusty. They're bringing back a gimmick from the cards.
Yeah, but they did that last year. They did that last generation as well, and it didn't mean anything. I'm telling you,
last generation that
Pokemon Day. I will show you.
What they bring back last generation? That
or no, it was this generation. They brought back the Terra. Terra was the Delta, and that's Gen 3.
Nah. Terra's different from Delta.
Terra is the same thing as Delta. It's literally
it's not.
In the TCG, you literally you'll have a Charizard that's like electric type or whatever.
I get that. It was a homage to it for sure, but this is a little different, I feel like, because they've hyped this up too. They've been like 2024 A-Specs coming back.
Yeah, you guys get me in the comments. Find my receipts. I'm pretty confident. I don't think the TCG has ever predicted anything. The TCG has to continue to make up gimmicks.
I'm not saying the TCG is predicting something, but I'm just saying if they announce in 2024 we're doing a Unova-related thing, and there's already all this other Unova-related stuff, it just might be another point in Unova's bar, you know?
Yeah.
But
the A-Spec, that's the first time it's back since Gen 5. It's 2020.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, and that's true. Delta species have popped up. Like, Delta species were used in the Celebration set. Yeah. In Gen 8.
That's true. Yeah, they were.
If we get a Johto and Unova games, whatever, like something like that, both Getsis and Faulkner, and I think there was two other. They were the only characters, the only non-Scarlet and Violet characters in Scarlet and Violet decks. Like there's nothing else. There was two other ones, but
what are we talking about?
In the TCG.
Yeah. See, that's the stuff I don't. That's what I've seen before. And
was it N? That's the other one.
No, not N.
That's what I've seen before. Like I've seen people like, this character got brought back, but the characters have mechanics.
Alessa?
I don't know. I don't remember. But
what I'm saying is, like, if you look back, there's also like Gen 6 characters, or there's also Gen 7 characters.
Bianca, yeah.
Like I don't think it means anything.
I mean, and also a counterpoint to that would be that was last year, and that was when Blueberry Academy was coming out, which was set in the Unova region. We had characters who were homages to Unova, you know, like Lacey
but
being Lace's daughter.
That still just makes a point that they were like connecting the TCG to
for sure.
No, I've followed it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. They do so many random things. They do so many random things.
Regardless,
in the TCG.
Regardless. Is there anything else that will be getting an update on
Pokemon Sleep is gonna get some updates. I haven't seen any rumors about it.
Hopefully it gets shut down. That's what I'm hoping.
Bro, I literally play it every day.
Thank you so much for playing Pokemon Sleep. Thank you so much. It's been a great time.
Dude, it's so much fun.
We're glad that you had this experience with us, but sadly we have to announce that
you guys got to play.
I love that.
Like,
I know I'm a little off topic here, but I still love that, like, that game was, like, we all agree, right? That game was canceled.
Oh yeah, and they brought it back.
The fan reaction to it made them go, wait, did people actually want that?
Did people want this? Let's bring Snorlax back.
Well, here's the thing. Dude, I didn't want it. I did not want it, and now I
didn't either. It was just a meme, right? It was a meme, and I think like we could kind of credit Joe Merrick for starting that meme, because he was like, this was like around the time Glimwood Tangled, that live stream happened, and he's like, I can't wait for Pokemon Sleep, you know, because now he can sleep to do his job. But you know, so I think it just became a meme like that. Like, I remember every time there'd be a presents, they'd like, people would be tagging Joe Merrick and being like, hopefully you get your sleep, buddy, you know. Then they finally did it.
I do think they've been doing like this Project Snorlax thing, which is related to sleep. So I think that
oh, okay. Is it?
They could keep doing something like that. I'm pretty sure it's like just it's called Project Snorlax, or in
You know, we got
Japanese.
that art, Dusty. Remember that?
No,
really
I remember
sick
the art, but I didn't know it
all
was
4 of
related
them,
to sleep.
or
Yeah.
5.
They've been doing that. Project Snorlax has been going on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did, like, they revealed him in, like, Teal Mask or whatever and did, like, a little promo trailer before Teal Mask was out. And Teal Mask came out in September, so that's kind of...
It's all the sleep stuff. I'm pretty sure it's related to sleep.
All right, so...
You're also doing the Miku, the Hatsune.
Miku.
I've never said this out loud.
Miku?
Miku, yeah. And the
Hatsu
Pokemon
Miku?
stuff. Like, that stuff is going on constantly.
Yeah.
And so
Sure.
I think, you know, who knows, maybe they release new music kind of thing, because they're really, like, getting into this whole music in Pokemon.
They are.
Yeah.
They've grabbed Ed Sheeran, Post Malone,
They gotta have
others,
Ariana
Katy
Grande
Perry.
make a track. They're getting the most washed up, like Katy
Lumi's
Perry's
not
washed
down.
up.
Kanye West is gonna be next. Mark my words.
Yeah.
Kanye,
No way.
it's gonna.
Yeah.
The
No
Pokemon
way.
Presents
No
is
shot.
gonna open up, and instead of someone from Pokemon like a Mori or something sitting there,
He does
it's gonna
have a song
be
called
Kanye
Power.
West. He's just gonna be like, "What's up? It's
Power
Kanye."
points.
You know, first we've got some Pokemon game. Roll the clip.
That's a Pikachu. No, there's no way.
It's gonna be a Super Bowl ad where he shot it from his phone. Hey, it's Kanye for the Pokemon.
Yeah.
He's going through some things. I don't think that they're gonna choose him.
Now is not
they
the
gotta
right
jump
time.
on Taylor Swift because you know she's popping
True.
off right now. So
Dude,
I don't
maybe
think
they
she's
grab
a
her.
I don't think she's a
that
Pokemon
could
fan,
literally be
to
a whole
honest.
episode. I think there are so many talented artists that like could and have shown, like the biggest artist right now grew up with Pokemon. That's what's great. It's not even a fad. It's like Ariana Grande has a tattoo of an Eevee. Why is she not making songs about Eevee? Like, I love
why did they start
like her
a
music is
partnership
so
with her?
great. Like, anyways, Posty was
It's
good.
probably expensive, you know,
For
Like,
sure,
yeah.
but they get the money. Anyways, let's move
Oh,
on
yeah.
to.
I mean, they're a small indie studio.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe. Let's move on to some spin-off games, guys. We talked about it a little bit. I think this is a little bit different from updates. There's a lot of, you know, if you could get one true spin-off title in 2024, what would it be, right? Even if they announced it and they were like, maybe it's coming to 2025.
It wouldn't exist.
In
Akin to-
June of this year, 6/24,
Yeah.
it will have marked 3 years since the release of the
Of
greatest Pokemon spin-off of all time and the prettiest Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch. And
What is
that
it called?
New Pokemon Snap. It is
I
the greatest game
Still
ever
haven't
made.
played it.
Ever made.
Yeah. We do hope to live stream that at some point.
Comments vouch.
We do plan to live stream that at some point. We want to kind of like immortalize it on the podcast.
Let me just ask you: have you ever wanted to see a Stunfisk just get really angry at another Pokemon and just start shooting electricity?
What do you think, Soul?
I thought you were gonna
New
say.
Pokemon
I
Snap
thought you were gonna
is the game
say.
for you.
Have you ever wanted to see a Stunfisk, like, you know, just get destroyed or something? Because that's what I want to see.
Well, you can
See it
see some
completely
Pokemon get
knocked
destroyed.
out.
Do you want to see a Magikarp get eaten by a Pidgeot? Pokemon Snap's the game.
I've seen that
Lumi-
clip. I have seen that
Lumi
clip.
knows every single scene in New Pokemon Snap.
Probably
It's like a
not,
movie.
honestly. Dude, I have not 100%ed that game, and I play it a lot. That's how like great it is.
I think I have been. Yeah. So do you think we could get like a new Pokemon Snap, like a new Pokemon Snap 2?
No, I wish. I really hope it, but
How long did it take for the
It
second
also
one?
did just
Yeah,
occur
but-
to me. I have to voice this. This is like only loosely related, but I have to voice this because
Okay.
this is insane. I just realized it. In new Pokemon Snap and in the latest Scarlet and Violet DLC, there are references to the classic Disney animated film The Lion King, and I want to know what's going on there. Why are they doing this?
Someone
Lion King
likes
is
the
iconic.
Lion King.
Lion
Just
King's
like
What does
someone
this
likes
mean?
Naruto.
I love Lion King. That's my favorite.
But those are
Disney.
two different companies. Bandai Namco made
True,
Snap,
true.
and then
Yeah, but it's Lion King.
all
Lion,
I'm-
King
look-
Lion King's iconic.
Look, all I'm saying is
Didn't it
the
win an
Gen
Oscar?
10 games are going to be set in Africa, and they're going to be Pokemon Mufasa and Pokemon Scar.
That would be
There you
sick.
go.
That honestly would be sick if we
I don't
actually
know
got.
which version I would pick.
Pokemon Timon and Pokemon
No, you pick
Pumbaa.
Scar. Yeah, let's go Timon. Let's go Pumbaa.
Let's go.
And they're just farting.
That's your Unova stuff. The starters are a Patrat and a Tepig.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not buying it.
Oh no.
So I think we're not getting. I've dabbled this year in the old Game Boy TCG game. I have dabbled in that a little bit. I know they have a current day simulator. So that we probably won't get a TCG game.
Nah.
Poke Park. What do we think about that?
Last time we saw a Poke Park game was during Gen 5. If we're getting Gen 5 remakes,
Ooh.
maybe it'd be a great time to do another Poke Park game because those games
really
were
good point.
fire.
That's a good point.
I think if they did it, it would just be better if they integrated it into like home and it was just like a home Poke Park combination game kind of thing. That'd be amazing. Sure. That's where I'm trying to vibe.
That would be
with
cool
it. But
if
I don't
they
know
were
if
like
they would
Pokemon
do
Home
that.
now
Cool
does
for
this.
Game Freak.
Yeah. They should just make home like a full-on simulator kind of thing like that.
Or rename it Pokemon Prison so that's accurate.
I think there's a pretty good chance that Pokemon Sleep, they could announce some sort of integration with that into Pokemon Home. I think there's a chance for that.
Yeah.
It's been enough time now where it's like I have a bunch of Pokemon that have natures, just for the record. They do have natures, and they have levels, and they're in my box, and I never use them, and instead of deleting them, I could transfer them to home. Just like how that operates with Pokemon Go. So I think at some point, one of these presents, they are going to announce that. That's my wild card. Again,
Pokemon Battle Revolution or Stadium or something, a new one of those would be very welcome.
That would be the best.
The Stadium thing is interesting because like what that really would be, it would have to be like a Pokemon simulator. It would have to be like a Pokemon battle simulator. Right?
Oh, and to be honest,
we've had that
really
conversation.
useful, right? Like you can basically take what Smogon's doing and profit off of it.
Yeah.
Because it has better graphics and all too, No,
they definitely could.
That would be epic. I know the competitive scene is like really blowing up these days, so I don't see why they wouldn't.
Well, and there's constantly more and more drama revolving around like the Hackmon stuff, and that could potentially be a way to repair that bridge.
True.
I think I've said it before. I really think the reason why we probably won't get a Pokemon battle simulator is because Pokemon wants to like maintain the illusion, right? They want to maintain the narrative that like you are going on a journey, collecting your Pokemon, and then actually competing with your best friends. They want to maintain that narrative that is present in the store, that is present in the anime, etc. Right? I think
agree,
you
but
lose all of that when someone.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just that they, the Stadium, Coliseum, Battle Revolution, all those games existed when the Pokemon games were 2D on the Game Boy, Nintendo.
That's another reason, right?
And so it was a way to see 3D Pokemon battles. Well, we don't have 3D Pokemon battles now. Now I still think though, like, as someone who wants those games, they're so different though. The difference was like you could see the Pokemon run up to the other Pokemon. They had the announcer. You felt like you were like Ash Ketchum in the like World Cup or in the, they need to do it.
That's true.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm trying to think about
it. It's a different experience.
It's also a great way to allow, a huge complaint. Soul, you're a victim of this complaint. Is that a lot of forms or Pokemon designs are locked behind gimmicks. Yeah. And if you allow for a simulator that can have these gimmicks, well, not only are those gimmicks alive, we get to have Z moves before the Sun and Moon remakes in 2032, but also like
this sounds like a dream game for me.
It does. It sounds it's one of those things. It's kind of like, how every time someone brings up a Pokemon game where you get to go to every region, this feels like that to me. Like it's like that's too cool.
It doesn't feel that crazy, but
you're not going to the regions, you're just battling, right? But they could make this they could make this new canon location where it's like, this is the Indigo League, right? Or what would it be called? The Plateau. This is the what do they call it? This is Victory Road. That's the game. Call it Victory Road, right? Pokemon Victory Road, and you're
honestly,
and that's sick.
How cool would it be if they set it in Paseo, which is the location?
Yeah,
that would
that's
be
true.
epic.
And like you have actual characters like that are in Master ZX, like Steven comes in, Ash Ketchum, all these. That would be amazing.
And they create events.
It feels like
where like
talking about this show feels like as a kid when like you'd be walking in the toy section at the store and you'd see something really cool and you kind of open your mouth to ask your parent if you can have it, but you know they're not cool enough to get me this.
Yeah.
You know.
Here's the only. I think there must be a way where it's like you could still use your in-game team. Because I guess if you just register your team...
They did that in Battle Revolution.
Yeah, if you just register your team on the Switch, then you just pop out Scarlet, you put in the new game, you open the new game, and it's reading the data that you have of your battle team or whatever. Or maybe it just reads the data of your entire box, and you can select from your team.
It could read it from your Nintendo account. That's what Home does, right? Like I don't even have to have Pokemon Scarlet in my Switch. I can have Let's Go Pikachu in my Switch, and when I go to Pokemon Home, select my user and look at my Scarlet save file. So you could have a game that reads the Pokemon Home that's connected to that user, the Scarlet game that's connected, so it's pulling the mons from all of that. But
I love that so much.
Game Freak, hear us.
Again, Father Game Freak ain't cool enough to buy us that toy.
That would get me so excited. That would get me so excited. And if there was still like, if like the area, the league in Paseo, if there was still like a little hub world that you could still navigate your character throughout, that would still be a ton of fun.
Can I be honest? I think this would overshadow any mainline game that they released that
I don't
year,
think
unless
so.
it was like a new gen.
Sure.
You know
It wouldn't
what I mean?
though. No, it wouldn't because there's no story. But there's no
It would
story.
be, like if they were like,
But there's no
if
story.
they revealed that and then immediately after were like, look, Pokemon Deep Black and Vast White, I'd be like, who cares? Go back to the Stadium game.
Give me Stadium 3 with all of these perks.
And I think Lumi, I think that's why they probably will never make that.
Right.
Unless there's a way where to unlock the full decks, the full Gen 5 decks in that battle simulator, you have to have the Gen 5 game, right?
Well, yeah, they would try to connect them. I could see that.
Of course.
If it's a remake, then obviously. But if it was a new gen, it would be different.
I don't know, but the more we talk about it, and this isn't even This isn't even the focus of the episode. But the more I talk about it, it's like I think Pokemon game. I'm playing through Heart Gold right now. I just played through Black and White, and these games are so fun because they're just like the fulcrum of the game is built around the story and around the world, right? There's no like they don't need to pack all of these things into it that are only relevant because of post game, right? Do you know what I'm saying?
Kind of. We're just talking about a spin-off, really.
No, I know, but
I
think
best spin-off that we could get.
But if the spin-off game is a battle simulator, and then for Gen 10, battle simulators where the battles happen, that means all of these other games don't need to be these grand, massive games like Scarlet and Violet, which lowers the bar, right, and allows them to be focused experiences like Legends Arceus, which is what everyone loves so much, right? Yeah. Obviously, the difference is, Lumi, is that you could still battle in those games against your friends locally or whatever.
Yeah. Right? And I'd like that. I'd like that because, like, if I caught a brand new Pokemon, I don't think that should ever leave the core series game.
It's got to be battle.
And I even think VGC should stay on, the core games, but just give me a battle simulator, give me like some looser rules, like I can do no timer, I can do only megas allowed, so you can't use Z moves, G Max. I can do a free for all where like you want to use Terra, you want to use G Max, you want to use megas, you want to use Z moves, go for it. The
battle simulator is just the battle frontier. It is
literally
give you
a showdown. But something that Pokemon's profiting off of and has high quality animation.
And it can become
hate to showdown. It's a small thing. It's not meant to. So
and it can become a tool for competitive players, right?
Exactly.
It's like you're actually going to be able to get more battles in, which means more practice if you use the battle simulator.
Yeah.
Imagine too, like they even kind of because like the thing that VGC players do is they'll go and they'll make their team on Showdown. Like they'll punch in what they want their EVs to be, and they'll battle on it and try to get like a high ranking so they know the team's good. Yeah. Imagine if like the Pokemon Company even rewarded you by they put that same system in this game and they go, you make it into the top 100 players or whatever, that team becomes real and you can just transport to your game.
Yeah, I like that.
There's so much they can do with it. I just don't understand why they haven't done it. But
I know.
That's just me.
It feels like there's a lot of things. I'm sure we'll get into it when we talk about the mainline game. But there's a lot of things where it feels like the Pokemon Company is just sitting on a gold mine, and we're like, dig, and they're like, no,
It's so true.
It's true.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, okay. Well, let's move on. Listen, I don't think we're gonna get a Ranger game. I think Legends Arceus kind of fulfills that. And I don't think we're gonna get a Mystery Dungeon game.
Have you ever played a Ranger game?
Yeah. No, I haven't. But I think
that showed with you saying Legends Arceus fills that.
I have not. I
think spiritually it's the same thing.
No, they're totally different.
You're
games,
using
said,
Pokemon in the region to fulfill certain tasks and interact with the region. I think like spiritually it feels very similar.
I mean, then by that logic, Sun and Moon was a Ranger game.
Okay, well, not really, because
never played it.
Sun and Moon is still like, I don't know. Sun and Moon is still like the classic battle.
Ranger fans, back me up in the comic.
Well, okay, sorry. Well, we don't have a stylus. We're not circling around our Pokemon, but we are.
That said, I don't think there'd be a new Ranger game, but I would welcome.
Like, what is Ranger? It's just it's a different style of an RPG, right?
It is. Do I have to do this? Is this going to be the 2024 meme? Play Pokemon Ranger.
Yeah. Okay.
Am I this Christmas really going to have to buy a Pokemon Ranger?
Good luck. It's probably hundreds of dollars.
I know. I really don't want to have to do that, guys.
I gotta look this up. I don't know. I had a whole
maybe they remake those though too. Like they did that with one of the mystery dungeons where they just remade it.
Yeah.
It was Game Boy though. The big issue they'd run into with Ranger is the touchscreen. How you do that, and the stylus and all. But
I don't know, but I believe you.
Yeah. But Mystery Dungeon, I would probably put it first for like gonna get a game for a spinoff, just because that is beloved.
Yeah.
Look at this.
I'm not a fan, but
basic gameplay involves traveling all over the land, Hisui, and capturing Pokemon, crafting and throwing Pokeballs. Yeah, using the Nintendo DS touchscreen, but we don't have that on the Switch. So I think
totally
my case
different.
stands.
Your role is different. Your the plot is so different. Look, man.
I know they're different games, but I'm saying what makes Ranger Ranger?
What makes Ranger Ranger is that you are a Pokemon Ranger, just like what makes a Pokemon game a Pokemon
so what is the main character
trainer.
in Pokemon Legends Arceus? The focus of the game is the trainer rather than the team you collect, right? You can interact and fight against.
Necessarily the case with Ranger, though.
I'll do some more research.
Oh my gosh. Anyway.
If you're enjoying this episode, please consider supporting Hidden Power on Patreon or YouTube channel members. Right now, we have 4 tiers, and the lowest membership starts at just $5 a month. Supporters get access to our secret Discord server and help control the direction of the podcast. Supporters also get access to our archive of bonus episodes.
Okay, so our Discord, honestly, is popping. We have other creators in there, too, which is kind of fun. It ain't just the 3 of us. We're discussing leaks when they drop. We talk about news. We'll be talking about how SoulSilverArt has, just garbage takes.
It's so much fun.
It's a place for us to connect.
I'm in there every day. Also, we have revamped our merch store. So proud of every product that is in this store now. We have stickers, t-shirts, mugs, ball caps, right? The dad caps. These ball caps are embroidered. Look at this. It's literally an embroidered.
So clean.
You cannot get anything more high quality than that.
I just got news. Do y'all hear that? Bulbasaur says that he even has his own merch.
I'll talk for him. It's beautiful. Very cool designs. You guys should check it out.
Very Japanese style.
Even the front of the shirt has a unique logo.
I'm getting one for sure.
If you're invested in this show, invest in the show. Thank you so much for watching, and now back to the video.
You were so off topic here. I think
Soul hates it.
I think Mystery Dungeon has the highest chance. I
agree.
I don't know what they would do, because let's just say, do we think that there's going to be a spin-off is the question. Like, I think that there's a possibility for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A spin-off.
And here's the thing. I was going to say it earlier.
When's the last time we got a spin-off that
we just did with Detective Pikachu 2? We got that's a spin-off game.
You're so right.
That's real. That's the thing. It's not like that's spin-offs, man. Yeah, that's Pokemon spin-offs. That's why I don't care about them either, because it's just like...
See, but to me, it depends on the one, because, like, I'm with you. Like, Detective Pikachu, no interest in. Mystery Dungeon, honestly, while I see that there's definitely a market for that, I don't have an interest in. But, like, they announced Ranger, I'm excited. They announced Snap, I'm, crying myself to sleep out of happiness. I mean, those are... there's some spin-off games that I do think are truly, like, special.
You know what I think is special? Pokemon Conquest. I need a game like
I've never played that, and I would love to.
It's like Fire Emblem in Pokemon, and it's like...
I've never played Fire Emblem. I don't even know what that is. Is that the thing with... It's like Icarus, a tactical character in that?
RPG. Let me look it up. Conquest. I haven't played it either. That was also on the DS. Here we go.
That was also Gen 5 era.
Yep, it was. Here.
Yes, that dude on the cover has a Zekrom.
Yep.
I'm not even saying that this is what I would want.
This was like the most
I'm
epic.
just saying this is a better spin-off game that like makes you like actually there's stuff to really do.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's better in general for me, for my taste. But yeah, I don't know. They could do something completely off the wall random too. That's how most spin-offs have been. It's just like, oh, a new idea that we've never thought of before.
They take a genre that has existed, that's proven, and then they slap a Pokemon on it, right?
I want Animal Crossing and Pokemon together. That's what I want.
Yeah, Animal Crossing was cool. I was just talking. I did like a podcast yesterday, and I was thinking about like the Nintendogs, how much fun that is. But that is pretty similar to Pokemon already. But what I was thinking,
wait. Did you say you were watching something on Nintendogs?
No, I was. I did a podcast, and I was like talking about.
I was wondering if you would watch the latest like Burbat video because they did a thing on it and it was. Good.
I watched it. I ended up watching that right after because for some my phone's listening to me and that popped up. I didn't even know who that was, but it was a good video.
Oh, they're great. I love them.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, Conquest would be pretty cool. I'm really down. Listen, here's the thing. The only thing I really care about are the main series games, right? All the other ones can be fun.
Same.
So what do we think?
Unless it's Pokemon Stadium 3.
Unless it's Pokemon Stadium 3.
Yeah,
unless it's a spin-off that has the caliber, the quality of
a main series
game.
Totally.
You know, like, that's what we need.
Say Detective Pikachu 2 had that.
I don't think so.
We need good spin-offs, not just like whatever. Like Gale of Darkness, XD Gale of Darkness was cool. You know?
Never played it.
Coliseum,
it was cool at the time. I think if you go back and play it, it's really not that impressive.
I'm talking about
but it is an RPG.
That's when Dusty ended his career.
I'm talking about the gameplay style of them. You know, like they were still attractive to Pokemon fans. We're Pokemon fans. We like what Pokemon games are. So make something similar or like that involves Pokemon in a really good way.
Yeah.
I would love. I think it was you, Dusty. You mentioned this a while back, but like maybe it was you. So I'm sorry. I don't know which one of y'all brought it up, but one of y'all did.
I say a lot of things.
An Animal Crossing-esque game with Pokemon, where it's just like you're on this island, you're living life. There are Pokemon there,
like Pokemon Concierge.
You're not a trainer. You're just kind of like you're building your house, you're making a garden, you're helping shape the island, and there are Pokemon running around.
Yeah, I think a game like Stardew Valley, farming simulator. I mean, yeah, they could do something like that. I think that could be fun with Pokemon. I think it's honestly what you're kind of describing as like a survival game, kind of like Ark, maybe with like Pokemon-like creatures.
No, because I'm not thinking you get attacked. I'm thinking like Animal Crossing is this very laid back.
It is, yeah.
Hey, you're having a bad day. Sit down with a cup
I don't
of
think
Joe
Animal Crossing would be
Crossing
interesting with
game.
Pokemon. I don't think Animal Crossing is fun, but if I think about that type of game made with Pokemon by a Pokemon like licensed thing, I don't think it would be as good. I think a survival game could be kind of interesting. Literally what Pal World is, right? Literally where it's like, I think what people want is to use their Pokemon to interact.
It was very much like Legends, but not totally.
Legends was more like of the action element to it, where you're like literally running away from the Pokemon that's trying to like kill you. Yeah, but I think those crafting elements of Legends could make for a really cool Pokemon game.
I agree.
And have you played Animal Crossing?
I have. I have not played the new one on the Switch, but as a child, I had it on the Wii, and I loved it.
That new one for the Switch was like one of the highest selling games of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's huge.
So I'm just saying it's like kind of a match.
I want to get it. I just it's the same thing as Breath of the Wild. Like I keep saying I want to get it. I've accepted I'm probably never gonna get it.
Animal Crossing is one of those things that you like. If you bought it 40 years ago and you play it every week, that's how you progress through the game. You don't like. You can only spend like an hour or two a day on it, and then it's like you're locked out until the next day. So it's a very passive experience.
About it.
Yeah, exactly. Which I haven't played in
kind of
3 years.
Yeah,
but it is a passive experience. I do think there's room for a Pokemon game that is a little, that's a little bit more survival based, and it leans into crafting. I started it as a joke, but honestly, the things that Palworld does could actually be kind of interesting. Where it's like you're using your Pokemon to build up this area. The part about Animal Crossing that I don't care too much is like the collecting, and it's the money, and it's the it's like the politics, or it's not politics, but like the socializing with the villagers. I don't really care too much about that.
I do, just because I don't know. I feel like it's a very Pokemon thing though. Like a lot of Pokemon fans are just like collectors, like or people that want to like accomplish something, like the next thing. That's kind of how
project
our brains work. You know? Yeah, it's like, so I got to go here and get this. I got to use that to do that. It's very they work together, and it's just like the easiest thing to be like, instead of animals, they're just Pokemon there. Yeah. You know, it's like literally Animal Crossing with Pokemon.
I think
it's just money.
I would like a game. I like those kind of more laid back, relaxing games, like kind of not really any stakes games. I don't know how popular those really are, but just where you're kind of just chilling with some Pokemon. I think that would be a cool game. There was that I think it was last year, they released like a little video series. They only did it in Japanese, but like this guy was just out cooking and camping with his Pokemon. He had like a Sprigatito and a Charizard. And it was
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, something like that. Like to make that a game.
I think it's possible.
They would have Concierge. You could turn that into a game.
Yeah. I said that earlier. Yeah, I think you literally could. There's potential. I think I'd be worried that they try to do a copycat, or they do like a lesser version of a game that already exists. Because Pokemon has also made a lot of games that feel very gacha, right? Like, it's, I don't know. So. Yeah, I'm open to something. I'm open to something new. Honestly, that was a fun discussion about like things that could exist that maybe don't, like Pokemon IPs that don't exist.
That's a clip
yet.
Right there, man.
Yeah.
There's a bunch. Yeah.
So, all right, main event. Okay. What are you guys actually thinking about? What do you think we're actually going to get?
Have been waiting.
In
Pokemon Z. Pokemon Z.
What do you actually think we're going to get?
7 days. I'm
7
so hyped,
days.
man.
I'm so excited.
I am thinking. Ask me again in an hour and I'll change my mind. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But right now, I am thinking a Unova game. I think that it will be. This is probably me trying to keep myself from hoping for something too high. I think I mentioned this to both of y'all off air. But if I go in expecting Legends of Victini, I'm going to be disappointed. So I would rather go in expecting traditional, faithful remakes of Black and White and a chibi Oka style made by Oka, and then I will be happy with anything. You know what I mean? That's what I'm expecting. But I do think because the biggest question, this is the year that like we most don't know what's coming, right? Because there's just as many good arguments as there is for Johto as there are for Unova. Maybe a little more for Unova, but either way, there's a lot of arguments for both.
More for Johto than Unova,
right? But then the question too is like, if it's Johto, we've already gotten Johto remakes, so what would it be? If it's Unova, well, there are 2 different Unova games, so which one do they do? So I think what I would lean is a third party, but I don't think it'll be Ilka, because I do think it's important to take information we have from leakers in the Nintendo and Pokemon field, and we have had a very, very reputable leaker say that the Pokemon Company was peed off with Ilka's portrayal of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. So I don't see why that would be a thing, but then they're like, but here, take this next game. So I would lean a third-party black and white game with the story being the base game of black and white, but I think the post game you would get to go to Humalau City, Aspertia, Burbank.
Or if they did like some special, kind of like DLC for it, like where they add it in
maybe
at the end, or
that would be cool. Like free like what they did, yeah, like Daybreak. They did that for Legends. Why not? Maybe it releases November, and then in February of next year, as well as announcing Gen 10, they're also like, oh, load up your games. You can go to Aspertia City now.
I think it's important to keep in mind that I think Pokemon's their mentality and their goal with the new Pokemon game is to give us a new experience, to give new players new experiences, right? Obviously, the point of a remake is to reuse assets and reuse things you can kind of just re-deliver and repackage, something old and refresh it. But I think also whatever does come next is probably going to be different from the Indigo Disc experience, right? It's going to be different from Kitakami. It's going to be different from Scarlet and Violet, right? So I'm just thinking about that as you're talking. I love what you're saying. I think that could happen, but yeah, I think we got to think about like what would be new, and I don't know, and
that's it, Lumi, though. That's all.
That is all I'm allowing myself to believe. I will be honest. I've thought about before, what if like a third, because like the thing with Legends was a third-party game made BDSP, and that allowed Game Freak to make Legends. So I've thought about before, it would be really cool if November we see a third-party made black and white remake, and then January we see a Black 2 White 2 remake of
like in a current engine?
Black 2 and White 2, but Game Freak makes that one.
It's like in Gen engine.
If I can dream a little bit more,
you're getting into dangerous territory.
With Oris, this is what I'm keeping myself from believing, right? Yeah. This is why I said I'm lowering my expectations. But you have Game Freak go, hey, with Oris, we took the original story of Ruby and Sapphire and we add Mega Evolution to it. Yeah. What if we say the events of Scarlet and Violet's DLC, take place sometime between Black and White and Black 2, or alongside it or something? And so what we do is we have in Black 2 and White 2, Terrastal is a thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
And Black 2, White 2 remakes, I should say.
Yeah. It's tough because it's like with all of this, I'm like, okay, well now they're retconning. I'm like, just give us the third version. Give us the third sequel, the third game installment.
I mean, in Lumi's hypothetical situation, I would think that if Game Freak remade Black 2 and White 2, like it was them and a third party did the first game, I would feel like that remake would be more like a Black and White 3 kind of thing. Where
it would need to do something.
Yes, it would.
The remake would have to be
Black 2 and White 2,
enough.
but it would have so much. Like, let's be honest. I guess, Soul, you can't because you didn't play these games. But Dusty, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are different games from Ruby.
They're
and Sapphire.
different games.
Same location.
They literally change
games.
But they change. It's like a different reality.
Yeah. So I imagine we'd see something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
more so than Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
There's even been some other ideas too, like Linky. Actually, a while back we had Linky on over the summer. We had Linky on. We kind of speculated about some Unova stuff, and Linky suggested, what if like the World Tournament now, instead of having Kanto through Unova leaders, is Unova through Galar, or through Unova through Paldea leaders. Yeah. That's kind of a fun idea. So the World Tournament doesn't have Misty, Brock, Winona.
I would like for those people to be there.
It would be cool, yeah, but I don't know. I feel like thinking they do all 9 regions is a little like...
I mean, it's not like they have to make a new location. It's just a player. But
you're right, but I just...
There's no excuse not to do it.
That's that toy that I'm like, Father Game Freak is not cool enough to get me that.
Like they're going to cut out Kanto? No shot.
Father Game Freak.
Father Game Freak.
Papa
Game Freak.
Oh, man.
Papa, may I please have... I don't know. My allowance.
No, I want to know where you were going with that. I wanted to hear that.
Dusty's a little under the weather,
yeah,
by the way.
I got COVID a couple days ago. I did get COVID a couple days ago, so I'm like...
See, Dusty's a little on the sick side, but...
Unclean!
Please, Papa.
Just so you know where his energy is at these moments.
And his mindset.
I know, I'm not sure if I'm just like fatigued from all the speculation. It's funny, this last week I've been seeing so many videos pop up. What is Pokemon Presents gonna give us? What are all the possibilities? And I'm like, we've been talking about this for like a year. Like since Scarlet and Violet launched, we've been talking about what we might see in 7 days.
Yeah,
so
it's true.
I am feeling true. I'm like you, Lumi. I am feeling, and I'm sure our audience is feeling a little bit as well. Like, okay, like just tell me. I'm not even excited. I'm just like, okay, gotta know. Tell me so I can taper my expectations. So I will say,
so
guys,
that you can take the hit.
Yeah. So so before this call, I'll tell you what I'm kind of. This isn't really what I'm expecting. I'm expecting what you guys are expecting. A pretty simple staple, just like a 1-to-1 remake with maybe a couple liberties here and there, right? Access to, we get our Ilka Gen 5 game, and then we have access to Genesect and Victini and all of these events that were kind of locked away, right? That would be nice. That would be cool. Maybe there's, in post game we get access to Verbank, etc. But
are we all thinking Unova, not Johto?
Well, let me get what's out of my head, and then we can talk about Johto after. But yeah, I am thinking Unova, but I also thought, there have been a lot of games. Think of like Ocarina. Ocarina of Time was created, the Zelda game, right? And then within 15 months, they released Majora's Mask because the game reused the assets of Ocarina of Time. Legends Arceus came out over 2 years ago. That's plenty of time to reskin or to reuse those assets for a Legends Unova game, right? I'm not banking on it, but hear me out. If there are rumors that this new game, right, could have elements of Gen 5 and Gen 2, that's Johto and Unova, I think it could make a lot of sense if the Legends Unova game, whatever, it takes place in Unova, great. I think it makes a lot of sense if the world is filled, because here's the thing, Unova is, right, based on New York City, it's based in the United States, which is historically very young. Obviously, there were like native people who lived here in the U.S. before, the society that lives here now. So a way they could represent that in the Pokemon universe is we play a Legends Unova game, but what are they called? Like the ancestors, the people resemble Johto characters. The culture in this ancient Unova region resembles Johto characters, Johto happenings, right? You've got ancestors of Kurt, and that's kind of how they give us this fusion style game, right? I love what Pen Paladin's been doing, fusing. Subarashi's been crushing it with the fusion Pokemon, which I love so much, and I would love to see something like that where Reshiram is fused with Ho-Oh, Suicune is fused with Kyurem. Like, it's incredible. The art, shout out to Pen Paladin, shout out to our buddy Mad Zygarde Cord, but yeah. But I think that is something that I very well think we could see. I think we could see that. However, okay, but my actual that was my safe bet. That's my I can justify it bet.
Safe bet.
No. Safe bet was BDSP. Safe bet was Ilka.
You're the wild one then.
that was like my mid tier Legends Kyurem. I could see it happening. That's my prediction. But my wild prediction. Here we go. Where's the button?
Pokemon Z.
Oh,
literally, listen.
Got it prepped.
Again, here we go. Literally. I think Pokemon, again, the whole conversation today has been like, how can they experiment? How can they outsource? I think they have one of the most beautiful 2D pixel art engines. Pokemon is iconic for its pixel art. I feel like Game Freak, this is their sandbox, right? And they have this beautiful engine in the Gen 5 engine. I don't know why they can't just outsource a team of people to reuse the Gen 5 engine to make another Gen 5 experience in 2D. We see so many 2D pixel art indie games do incredibly well based on the quality of the game themselves, right? But if you have a Pokemon game that in 2024, right, that is literally in this 2D beautiful pixel art, right? If they made a game like this and launched it, I think it would do as well, if not better, than a BDSP game, than a faithful remake. What do you guys think? Because I think that
I agree.
I think the potential is untapped.
I think that this is a dream, though. I think this is definitely a dream.
You think this will never happen? They'll never go back to 2D?
Not that it won't ever happen. I just think that you're talking about like this being their sandbox and all that. I think that was back in the day, but now you have to think how many years has it been since they've actually made a pixel-based game?
Yeah, it's been about a decade.
Pixel art-based game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. The new people that are there are doing 3D modeling. You know, like the older people are not. they're just chilling. I think it's definitely a dream. I think that they should do it. I agree with you. I think everything you said is true about it.
I think
but
I
don't know if it's time yet.
That's fair. That's fair criticism. I think of the Mario team, right? Every new Mario game that comes out is kind of like it's kind of playing with the art style, and even if it doesn't look like this exactly, I think Pokemon did a cheap imitation of that with BDSP, right?
Yes,
where it was like, it'll be a cartoon and it'll be cheaply made and it'll sell really well. But if they were to actually make it look like pixel art, which is the actual chibi that people love and remember, I think this could be incredible. I don't know. I think at some point in the next within this before 2030, I do think they're gonna try something like this. They're gonna roll the dice with this at some point.
I've seen a lot of people suggest like an Octopath Traveler
approach
to it.
Yeah, totally.
Gross, though.
I was literally thinking, and I know I'm in the minority, but I would not like that.
No, I do not like Octopath Traveler's graphic.
I'm not a fan either.
What do you not like about it?
I think it's objectively pretty, right?
It is.
Like, you ever seen art that you're like,
I think so, yeah.
This is objectively a talented person, but you're thinking, but this is not my art, you know? Like, it's like that with music, right? Like, I mentioned, like, you know, earlier to y'all, like, I don't listen to Ariana Grande. She's objectively talented.
Come on,
you know?
dude. Dude,
like,
you need
objectively
for Christmas. I'm gonna send you
singer.
I'm gonna send you her Sweetener album, or no, I'm gonna send you Positions. So good.
That doesn't sound appropriate.
No, it is. Here, we got a little...
Man. But no, objectively talented, but, you know, not for me. And I would say that about Octopath Traveler. Like, objectively, like, sure, it's whoever made this is very talented. If I see a Pokemon game like this, I'm going to be very upset.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think what people...
It ain't for me, that style.
Yeah, I think what people like about it is that it is a successful game in a pixel art, and the lighting is incredible, right?
I think that looks so good right there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I
don't know that it works for Pokemon.
It doesn't.
Either,
no,
though.
But they could do a version of this. I think why people
have seen
reference
someone
this
made
so much,
like a red and blue, like they did like Vermilion City
I did see
and
that.
Pallet Town.
It was cool, but
in this style, and it was cool, but it was again like
it's not
this
the right
guy's
art style.
Objectively talented. I would not like a Pokemon game that looks like this.
But like to see, where is this? Is this?
It's really just the camera, how it unfocuses the sides. You know,
I like that. You don't like that?
I love it. I like it too, but that's what makes it look good.
It makes it look cinematic.
If all of that wasn't on there, it'd be pretty plain. So like if they did like some kind of other Pokemon pixel art and then they put those effects on it, then it would look like this and still be good. But it's just the actual like pixel art itself that I am not a fan of. This type of it.
I think
especially the characters.
Yeah, I think there's a market now, right? It's like there's enough people there's enough time has passed from this 2D pixel art Pokemon era. Enough time has passed where these games really, they still stand up on their own, because again, they're not fighting for, like, these games weren't designed to like, I don't know. I feel like these games were designed to be a good game, period, forever, right? Where we see all of these new 3D Pokemon games that are just pushed out just to get us another 12 months, before, or honestly, they're just supposed to last like 6 months before they announce whatever the new game is going to come.
Maybe that's true. I think that it really comes back to like, what goes around comes around, or like the cycles repeat themselves. Like it's just people right now like this stuff. They want to go back to this.
Yeah,
like,
it's a nostalgia thing, really. Like in large, like you see this in other like things too. Like for example, a big backlash to Disney's latest movie, Wish, was that people were like, why can't you go back to the hand-drawn style? Like people want that style again. Because it's
just history repeating itself.
Cuphead, like that super retro nostalgic style. that's just what people,
Tell me you don't want a
nostalgia
Pokemon
always
game
sells
like this.
well. It's the reason they do remakes. Nostalgia sells well.
Yo, shout out to
history
at
repeating
Astra.
itself.
Shout out to this person. How am I not following them?
Yeah, I need to if I'm not as well.
It's a music composer.
But yeah, I think eventually history will repeat itself again and people will want 3D Pokemon again. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll just go back full circle again and people will be like, well, we don't need any more of this sprite based stuff. Even though there will always be people that love it. Don't get me wrong, but anyway,
just like Gym 5. I mean, Gym 5, it came out, everyone hated it, and now Gym 5 everyone's like, give me my remakes. I love Gym 5.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I think the thing is it's just been so far. It's been such a long time since we've had something like this. Look at the following Pokemon with the Gen 5. Anyways, all right. So, okay. Well,
Soul, I want to hear your predictions.
Yeah, what are your predictions?
I agree with what you were saying, Dusty, that like we have gone over this so many times that I feel like we've said our predictions so many times to
but some people haven't seen it.
Predictions are constantly changing, I feel.
I don't think mine have changed this whole time other than like I guess I could just be like, this is what I really think is going to happen. I mean, I definitely agree with Lumi that I think that 2024 is a third-party developer that is going to make Black and White. The only reason that I think that is really because of coup, or leaks in general. If there wasn't any leaks towards it, I probably wouldn't believe it. I would be like, I think Johto's coming. There's too many hints to Johto. Yeah. It's next in line. It's what should be happening, but get mixed with Game Freak's craziness and leaks that we have heard. Like Unova to me is next. And that's the only reason. That's the biggest reason. I know I make a whole bunch of crazy posts about this is why this connection is here and all that. We were talking earlier about how this is the 25th anniversary of Pokemon in the US. So that's a huge one, I think. And then
the
on
Empire
Pokemon
State Building.
Yes, on Pokemon Day, the Empire State Building is going to be lit up, and that is the only time that this has been done for a Pokemon Day thing. Maybe not the only time, but
it's the only time that's been done for Pokemon Day.
Yeah.
I will say the argument that, has been made is that it's for Horizons launching in the anime because the Empire State Building was made to be a beacon for airships, and obviously the Rising Bolt Tacklers have an airship. But I'm like, but you could have done any airship in the world, and you chose not just in America, New York City.
Yep. And that Time Magazine thing is a thing, that's 25 years of Pokemon in America. Let's put it on Time Magazine. It's like they're readying everything for a celebration, and it was a big deal when Pokemon came to America. It's not just like Red and Blue came to America 25 years ago. They did a big thing for the 25th anniversary of Pokemon in general. This is like the redoing of a 25th anniversary. And Unova is the first American place. So those are the biggest things, and there are things in the Indigo disc that also point to this that are not just references to it.
Oh yeah, let me pull up your
the whole time
Twitter. You had an interesting thread.
That's insane what I just posted. I felt like that guy, the picture of the guy on the board, from It's Always Sunny. Literally.
Here, let me pull this up.
I stayed up late last night making that thing, but none of those are actually even the main hints. I think that the main hint to it is along with what Ku said, but the whole Opelucid City and the theming of past and present in Black and White, Black 2, White 2, that whole thing is way crazier than any of these. These are just
fun.
Possible.
These are just fun, interesting things.
Yeah.
If
you go up, the other one's even that one. Click on the picture. Yeah, that one.
Wow.
It's every reference that I found.
Wow.
For the record, the toxic chain badge, that obviously was not planned, but that is really weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That is weird.
I don't think it was planned at all, but it's
no, definitely not. They didn't know this far out. Isn't it called the toxic badge too? Is that what her badge is called?
I don't remember, but if that's true, then I should have wrote it in there. That would have been nice.
I'm about to tell you. Her name was Roxy, right? Yeah, Roxy.
Yeah, ROX.
The main one here too is that in 2008,
the toxic badge. It is the toxic.
It is a toxic badge. That's crazy. That's actually crazy.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't put Pokemon Sleep on this.
I should have under Dream World.
Yeah,
over there,
because
the Dream World is actually random when I put it in there. It doesn't have any real connection.
Dream World.
Yeah. The main one is the Scarlet and Violet book up there, the two of them.
Yeah.
I think that because in 2008, right there underneath, they had already, what is the word? Copyrighted or whatever, the Pokemon Scarlet, trademark Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, in 2008. And I'm still a believer that they're just like, you know what? Maybe one day we're going to make a Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And that's why they trademarked it. And who knows when they were... this whole post is not about that they were planning Scarlet and Violet from this. It's that they went back to Gen 5 at some point and were like, oh, look, there's a Scarlet and Violet book there. And we trademarked this. And you know what? Let's maybe use some of this for a future game, for the game we're working on. That's the idea behind it.
It's almost like Game Freak is constantly putting in Easter eggs for to be fulfilled in the future. Right.
Yeah, I don't think that these were actually hints to it.
Not hints. No. But they were just like, well, we're thinking about this. Let's put this here, right?
Mm-hmm. The subway. I don't know if you ever read that one line from that guy, but he's like, you take a subway and it goes underwater to this underwater thing.
Yeah. Undersea elevator.
Yeah. Really neat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. But anyway, all of that being said.
But see, if all of this is hints, and my God, there's so many, it totally
I don't think these are.
But if they are, that to me would imply a game that is more connected to Scarlet and Violet and isn't just BDSP was
sure.
It was not remotely
BDSP was an
connected to
afterthought.
Sword and Shield.
Yeah, there is proof. There's evidence that says the intention for what the Gen 4 remake was supposed to be was so greater than what we actually got, right? And Legends is great in its own right, but it was a different avenue. What Lumi's saying is if all of this is intentional, then what could possibly be in store for us next year?
Well, I do think we're kind of sleeping on. There's a hidden third option where they do give us more Scarlet and Violet based stuff, and I'm not saying new DLC or anything like that, but still related to the. Maybe not even the storyline of it, but just connected in a way. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this might have some connection back to time travel or the Terra crystals, because it's very possible that, what Lumi was saying, this is what I think. The game that's coming out in 2024, I don't see it as just a BDSP remake kind of thing. I think it might be somewhere in between BDSP and ORAS, where they
Let's Go.
Yeah.
Like Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
More like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, probably. Something in between where they still connect it to Gen 9. Do you know what I mean? We're still in Gen 9.
But it's a different art style.
There could just be...
Same story, different art style.
Yeah, but there could be just Terastal in the game as well. They could just have Terastalizing somehow. You know what I mean? Just for the ORAS sake. Maybe not give us any new forms or anything, but something like that. I don't know if they just give us a proper, pure... faithful remake. It is very likely that that's just what we get. And in that case, I think that next year, in this presents, they will do the BDSP PLA thing, and they will announce the game for next year. And it might come out in January, or it might come out in November or earlier than that. I don't know, but I think that they're going to announce both games, to be honest. That's my guess.
Oh yeah,
if there's a
January game, they'll announce it here. I feel like we have to touch on, because you even have on this little photo collage that Game Freak had trademarks for Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. There also exists trademarks for a Pokemon Black, Silver, and White Gold, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's a trademark?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I missed that when we talked about it last.
No, yeah, that was the smoking gun for me.
At least White Gold is trademarked. Black Silver may not be, but White Gold is trademarked.
That's important though.
So they were considering that probably as the sequel. The sequels, when they were trying to figure out whether they wanted it to be a gray version as the third version, or if it's like White Silver is essentially like Ultra Moon, right?
It's,
I'm thinking of it the
important.
same way, or Omega Ruby, right?
Yeah, it's important to know if Black Silver was also trademarked, because Jan made a very good point about that, and that white gold is technically a platinum. That's what platinum is called. It's called white gold.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they like just used it as platinum or not, but that is a point to be made as well. Lumi's looking it up, I know.
Yeah,
I am.
He's doing recon.
You have to find the tweet.
Well, I know that the tweet I saw was from Hoops and Hip Hop, and he just said white gold. He did not say that Black Silver was not trademarked, but right. He did say white gold was. Yeah. I will say though, according to what I'm reading, they do not always trademark both games. Sometimes they have like just trademarked, like especially when they do it early, they'll just trademark Pokemon Pearl and not trademark Pokemon Diamond.
The year is also important.
Because another thing too is white gold. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but black silver is an actual thing.
Yeah, black silver.
So maybe they can't trademark it. Maybe
I'm saying like if it does depend on the year as well. Like if they trademarked white gold after they already made platinum, then that just cancels that out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know. That's my prediction for like the mainline game. I think that if we get a BDSP Faithful remake black and white, we're gonna get a experimental game in January or February of the next year, probably. Of 2025.
But do we have evidence of that, or is that just like we're following? That's
my
pattern?
No. That's my guess. There's no true evidence other than like they've been pushing Unova and Johto, and I'm like, it's Unova remakes and a Johto experimental game. That's what's happening. And what I said earlier, this year is their year that they're developing. And so another developer is going to make the remake. And then Team B, their 3-year development cycle will be up in 2025. Like their 3-year development cycle will be fulfilled. Like from Legends Arceus to Legends Johto in 2025. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not saying it's a Legends Johto. It could be because how like popular it was.
So they
that's what I think.
What it is they trademarked a bunch of names in 2009. Pokemon Black, Pokemon Brown, Pokemon White. Obviously, Pokemon Black and White became a thing. Yeah. Pokemon Gray. Interestingly enough, they actually did not trademark Pokemon Violet. They trademarked Pokemon Scarlet, but did not trademark Pokemon Violet. They trademarked Pokemon Purple.
Sure.
They also trademarked Pokemon Scarlet twice. One in kanji and one in katakana. Okay. I think that's how you say that. But
so they probably that was probably their first idea, was Scarlet to go.
Yeah, but and they did trademark Purple with it too. So they might have just been thinking the opposite ends of the rainbow, Scarlet and Purple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But kind of just decided Scarlet and Violet flows better. But so there could be some merit to white gold. I don't think there is, but I love to play around with those ideas.
It is interesting.
Yeah, of course. Those are my two options anyway in predictions. Like, if we get just the remake game this year, that it'll be between a BDSP and ORS, and then next year we'll get Gen 10 kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But if it's just a pure like faithful remake, then I think we're getting another game alongside it. I do not think that they can sell just a faithful remake for this year and then that's it. Just be like, that's it. I think that they have to hype something up. Another thing to take into account that I was thinking when Power World came out is like, man, people are gonna be disappointed if it's just a faithful remake and they're gonna bash them, be like, we got Power World now, we don't even need you for this.
That is true, but the flip side of that is they wouldn't have time to change that. You know what I mean?
Obviously, it would be unfair.
Before Power World dropped, they knew what they're releasing this year. So if they're only releasing a traditional game and Power World drops and everyone gets hype over it, unfortunately they can't well, quickly make a game for January,
I know what you're saying, and yes, you're absolutely right. My thought process is that they already have that game planned. What I'm saying is that they would announce it in this direct. Like maybe they weren't maybe they weren't going to announce it until later this year, or till next year, and it comes out in November of next year. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead, they could be like pushed. Like Nintendo was just pushed. I think that was confirmed by there was a leaker that was like, it's come, push it back because of the Xbox showcase or something like that. They changed their whole thing.
I do think that, like, you know, we've mentioned this on the podcast before, but when we think of the year, we think January 1st through December 31st. But when a Pokemon year is February 27th, the Pokemon Day, through February 26th. Like, this is the new year for Pokemon, is February. So I do think anything that takes place within that first year that is mainline will get announced. Sure. So, like, if something's dropping in January, early February of 2025, it's gonna be announced here.
Yeah.
But I do hope, no matter what happens, I do really, really want whatever game it is to have some new Pokemon, whether that's regional forms or an evolution. I need that. Yeah. 4 evolutions, just 4 evolutions. I mean, something, you know,
or just some forms, just a few forms.
I think
some
we
regional
will get
variants.
that.
Yes.
I think we will get that.
You think that, but I don't. If we get a BDSP like game, it's just like. If it's this is the thing. If it's a third-party developer, then there's like zero.
No, you know what? No, I disagree because we there's like
1%.
Yeah, I mean Meltan and Melmetal were revealed in Pokemon Go. That's a third party.
That was Game Freak, bro.
That was Game Freak.
But it's Pokemon Go.
It was revealed in Pokemon Go, but it came out in Let's Go.
Right.
It's not.
I think we got access.
I think that was a special case because the only reason it came out in Go was because Game Freak was making a game that was directly tied to Pokemon Go.
Yeah, but I think whatever the if it's a third party that develops this game, it's directly tied to all of the other Pokemon games. So I think we can still get Pokemon forms.
You're giving me hope, but I don't know how much hope I can have.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty obvious to me.
I don't have any hope for it, to be honest. There being new forms or new. I mean, dude, 2 months after Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl came out, they gave Dialga and Palkia new forms and didn't even put them in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Literally, the entire time that Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and PLA were like being promoted, I was like, just give me forms for Dialga and Palkia in BDSP, and I will buy these games. I will want them because I get one new thing that I get to use in it, and they never did, and then they ended up doing it in PLA.
I know. The fact they did it in PLA was just like why? Yeah. You know, and they even connected the games. They had the like hint for how you get Manaphy in Legends, and they also did a hint at Hisui and Quillfish and those games.
That's true.
So I mean,
because that's just what
with very large spikes or whatever.
Yeah,
if we think of it like
knew,
this,
and he was like, "You should put this in there."
Let's think of it like this: there actually has never been a game that reuses an engine, other than like the direct.
Oras.
Is that Oras used the XY engine,
but it's not really the same engine. It is,
and then Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon used Sun.
No. So I'm thinking of like the remakes, right? I'm thinking of like.
He's not thinking of third versions, obviously.
Yeah, not third versions.
Because those are the same.
And I would say, an Oras is a different engine. Or maybe it's technically the same engine.
It's a different art style. I think it's the same engine.
Is.
And even the art style's very similar.
Yeah, so I'm mixing up the words a little bit. I think
I see what you're
art
saying,
style is kind of what I'm thinking about. Like, if we look at BDSP, we're all thinking, no, we're just going to get the same exact engine and it'll be a new system. But realistically, I think everyone listening to this and us would need to remember that it's probably going to be a different art style, and it could be if it is a third party, it's still going to have that different art style, and it could still it could fulfill a lot of great things like Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, right? When it comes to the lore, new Pokemon, I think there's a lot of room for.
If it's a mix, then yes. If it's a complete remake, then I like a reskin. You know, I don't know if they do anything like that, but I do agree with you. You know, mentioning Centro's tweet, I actually agreed with Centro's tweet. I almost posted, I'm like, wow, I agree with this. But it's just like the whole thing about like exactly what you just said, Dusty, that which I don't even think you saw it. They've been on because you haven't been on the internet, but
not really.
They changed the art style in every new game like that. Not the third versions, but they usually do. That is just the logical part of it. The other part is what Ku said about Ilka. Like, I also do not think. I think there's like a 5% chance that it's Ilka making this again. So if all the people that are really afraid of Ilka making it, I don't think that Ilka is making this. It's a third party from somebody that we don't know, and so who knows what it'll look like. And if it looks amazing, then that would be great. That would be, a lot of people would probably be more happy with it. It's the whole idea that people think that we're just going to get a copy of BDSP but black and white, and that's not 100%. I can guarantee. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I can guarantee it, but I can't obviously. But it's just not going to be the same exactly. So I don't think people have to fear.
They'll give us something new.
Yeah, I don't know. I
agree with Lumi. We want new Pokemon. I want a new Pokemon. I want just the original dragon. Just the original dragon this year. It's the year of the dragon. Give me the original dragon.
Well, how about
this?
They've
spoiled me because, they used to... We didn't really get new Pokemon other than the mythical, and that was always leaked when the game came out.
Yeah.
But then it all started, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. They're like, here you go. Here's, a dusk form of Lycanroc, Poipole, Naganadel, Blacephalon, Stakataka. They gave us, and it was like, that's so cool.
Lycanroc,
then Meltan and Melmetal, and let's go. Then with Sword and Shield DLC, more new Mons and forms. Legends Arceus, more evolutions and forms, and so I would just be really disappointed if this is the first year that it's like nothing.
Yeah,
which I guess technically
it could happen. It could happen. 2015 was the darkest day.
I do think we'll get a mythical reveal.
I was just about to say, what we didn't talk about? I mean, we didn't mention the anime at all in our in the thing. I think in the predictions. I think that the anime will definitely be revisited in the presents. I think that they might even reveal the movie and possibly a mythical but that would probably come out in Scarlet and Violet. I'm not sure. Maybe it comes out in the new game. I think it would
come out in Scarlet and Violet.
I would prefer it to come out in a black and white faithful remake so I can use a new Pokemon. You know what I mean? That'd be great. Yeah. Or at least let us transfer it in right away instead of waiting for till March till home comes, integration comes. You know what I'm saying?
What'd be cool is how, Kalos had Hoopa, and but then Kalos did not have access to Unbound Hoopa. So what'd be cool is if we have a mythical with a new form, we get the mythical in July whenever the movie comes out. Typically that's July for Japan. And then if you transfer it into black and white remakes, you can get access to a new form with an item you'll get, and so you can get the new form in the black and white remake, but you also have a little mythical to play around with this summer in Scarlet and Violet.
I think it's a high possibility. The only reason that I don't see it in Scarlet and Violet is because it's not in the code of Scarlet and Violet at all. There was never anything discovered.
Yeah, that is true.
So all right, so we're not expecting anything Johto tomorrow. Next week.
Tomorrow, don't, dude. You made my heart like
tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
I feel like it is.
I am expecting something Johto, either the ports or the 2025 game, or both. Okay. That's what I am expecting. Something Johto.
All right. Wow.
Okay.
And if it doesn't happen, then there's just some troll. There's some troll out there that's just
someone knows.
I love Johto so much, I'm gonna put it in every single little thing that we have, and that's it.
They also that year that I talked about with the presents where they had the Johto stuff around them, and obviously it did not amount to anything. That year they also trademarked Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Entei. The guy who's filing the trademarks is he's a troll too,
I feel like we've forgotten though a lot about or maybe just because it was the DLC that threw everyone off, but things like the Paradox Beasts being the 3 from Johto and the 3 from Unova, what happened to the whole Johto in the past and Unova in the future, that stuff I think still applies. We just think of it in terms of it was a hint to the DLC, but
it could be a hint to beyond.
And are we done to where we can move into some leaks for a moment?
I mean,
one last thing about black and white remakes. The freaking carpet in your hometown starting house is black and white, and in Sword and Shield there was actually a little Krogunk statue.
Yep.
And that was the next game was BDSP or the Sinnoh games, you know,
because it's the same statue from Pastoria City.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And I was just that's the giveaway to me. Like, it's black and white is next. Like, there's the zebra printed black and white thing right in your bedroom.
And the fact that you literally go to a school in Unova.
Yeah.
Can we move into some leaks for a moment?
Yeah, let's do it.
Go for it.
These are real
leaks. This is a riddle, rather. But Koo posted an 8.
Sure.
And it's a digital it's a digital alarm clock 8 specifically, which someone in Ruffled Rowlet's stream pointed out that that the digital 8 can be made into a 2 and a 5.
Yep. This is what today I was just like
Gen 5.
I'm feeling the whole 2 and 5 thing, guys. I'm feeling it.
And that could be I was just thinking of this. Yeah, obviously Gen 2, Gen 5, but also 25, yeah. Gen 2 and Gen 5, and then the 25th anniversary of Gold and Silver, and the 25th anniversary of the of Unova, right? Or no, the 25th anniversary of Pokemon in the United States, right?
I didn't even think about that, and I should have put that in this tweet.
Yeah.
That it is also the 25th anniversary. But there's also 2 dots on it that really bugs me. Like, what are the 2 dots?
Yeah.
Can we? I mean, if we know what like software he made this in, maybe that would tell us. I don't know.
I don't think he would just leave those 2 dots there for no reason to.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That is not part of like a clock.
Is he still beating around the bush? Is he still Koo beating around the bush?
I have no idea.
Look at his name, Dusty. Is it Koo beating around the bush? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
I just don't know if
the 2 dots are him beating around the bush.
I mean, these are the kind of like rumor leaks where I'm like, I don't even care to engage, because it's like it feels so shallow. Like the analysis is like there's 2, and then I count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 27.
Oh, that'd be so awesome if he counted each bar. I didn't even think of that.
1, 2, 3,
That's kind of why I like
6,
it.
7.
Are we in the 27th? Is this the 28th or the 27th?
Well, the 27th is Pokemon Day.
Yes, exactly. Anyways,
I love it because the whole community comes together and comes up with their ideas, and it's like,
I believe,
all right, which one is the what?
Gen 8 remakes Pokemon Sharp Sword.
Yeah, Kenway knows what he's talking about.
Shout out to Kenway.
This is funny. When we started this podcast, I read that and I started laughing just because I saw it.
That does remind me. We do. Kenway is a supporter of the channel, and so that reminds me, we did in our special little Discord, which can be accessed by being a supporter either on YouTube or on Patreon.
Yes. Join the cult.
We did ask, yes, join the cult. We did ask about what our supporters' thoughts were for what could be coming. So I figured we can get into their predictions, kind of give our thoughts on them.
Love this.
So first off, not a supporter, but in fact a host, DustyGogoat did say Game Boy Pokemon ports.
Come on.
So there's that. We know what Dusty's looking for.
Yeah. I do think this is likely. I'm just saying it's coming eventually. It's coming.
Oh yeah, it's happening someday. It's just a question of when.
We didn't even talk about how it got shut down. Like the eShop, the DS stuff is all shut down.
Yeah,
well,
they need that.
Yeah. More the reason to come back. Yeah. Well, it's another thing like what I talked about where like I said Pokemon, it feels like they're sitting on a gold mine. You have 28 now years worth of games and you're only profiting off of 3-4 years worth, because you're not selling the other ones. But anyways, then we have Sampy or Dan has said, not gonna lie, if they do go back to Unova and or continue that story, which I doubt, they need to make it A, understandable from new and old lore and old players' lore. Then B, make BW and BW2 ports accessible to replay. And I do think that is like the big thing against Black and White 3, right? Is Black 2 and White 2 is, 15, almost 15 years old. The original black and white game is almost 15 years old. There's a lot of Pokemon players that are 8 years old. So,
I think listen, we've talked about this before, but like if they do make a black and white 3 and it functions like if it actually functions 15 years later, like whatever the same amount of time is since black and white, like the games can be far enough removed where they kind of function and they exist on their own, right? Just like any other soft reboot, right? It's like you make Jurassic World, you don't need to see Jurassic Park, but all of the references are there for you to appreciate if you are familiar with it.
Right. You don't need to play Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl
to enjoy Legends Arceus. Yeah, exactly.
It's just there's kind of like an added bonus, a little reward for people who have.
Yeah, so that's how I would take a look at it, but I mean, come on. Dan.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dan.
But the thing is, if that's the case, I don't think they can market it because the difference is like Jurassic World is called Jurassic World, not Jurassic Park 4. Yeah. Yeah. So you can't call it Black and White 3. If it's spiritually a Black and White 3, that would be fine, but it cannot be called Black 3 and White 3.
I totally agree. But I think, you don't just call it something different and then still have it function as that type of sequel. I think that'd be a great game. That is like that's like the classic wish list. Like that, just give us a Gen 9 engine like Unova game. That'd be great.
Yep. Then Shirley Necromancer says Johto Fever. Johto remakes.
I mean, I will be so happy. Yeah. I don't even need anything Unova. I'm like,
they actually did give some reasons too.
Okay.
They said so a Johto Pokemon and map is coming to unite with a Lugia boss replacing Zapdos or something like that.
I mean, cool, but
there are also Johto events coming to Pokemon Go. And then I will add to that by bringing up again, there is the box with Lugia, Ho-Oh, and Suicune, which are not only Johto legendaries, those are the Johto game mascots, Silver, Gold, and Crystal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then
like I said, I think something's happening with it.
Yeah. I mean, this image was circulating on 4chan, and I'm just like, it hurt. Because as much as I am excited and as based as I want to be just like, oh yeah, I'll just take whatever they give us. Oh yeah, let's go Johto, could be fun. When you see an image like this, and whatever your visceral response is, that's your gut feeling. That's actually how you feel. And I saw this, and I was not too thrilled. I thought, oh, this is going to be such a shallow remake. I'm playing through Heart Gold right now, and it's still just as delightful as it's ever been. So, I don't know.
I think that's literally the art style though that you're talking about.
Yeah, this is well. Here's the thing: if it's just like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, I would be disappointed. If it is this art style, but like a true game where you could actually battle wild Pokemon, I think I'd be into it. Because then it would be like, the suggestion there is that it's just like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Which is
I was just wondering if like just your complaint is the art style.
No, the art style is fine. It's the implication of the gameplay that would bother me a little bit.
Gotcha. I understand that. I would feel exactly the same about any other game. For me, if it's Johto, I'm happy no matter what it is. Like I don't even care if it was was just a port that was like upscaled or something. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy. Because Johto's my favorite. But
Johto's great.
And I haven't played it in a long time. So that for me is good. But I agree with what you're saying. Like if there was another Let's Go game, I'd be like,
yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. Like apparently there's going to be AI tech inside of the Switch too. That's the rumor, that is capable of upscaling older games. So any sort of, again, I did a podcast on my channel yesterday. I recorded, and it was a thrilling conversation to imagine all of the Pokemon ports that could be upscaled to HD, right? Think about like the images you've seen of Sun and Moon in like where the shadows, or what are they called? Like the outlines have been removed and they're upscaled to HD. You run them on your computer illegally, and then like, I don't know if you've seen that footage, but it looks beautiful, right? And imagine these ports. Imagine classic ports upscaled, or even any of the DS ports, or even just Switch games upscaled to HD.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, epic, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Aerodynamics said it's the year of the dragon. Unova remakes with the original dragon involved in the storyline,
Yeah.
which I will be like, I feel like, you know, because
That's good enough for
Giratina
me.
had an origin form, I feel like we all kind of thought, okay, they're doing Sinnoh games. We have to see origin forms for Dialga and Palkia, the forms they take in their dimensions or whatever. And so I feel like, likewise, like, if you're doing Unova, come on.
Yeah.
You know, come on.
I think
we also
they just don't do the same thing as BDSP. That's what I don't want with like I do care about the chibi stuff a lot. I hated that so much, but this even more so. Like if it's chibi and it has that, then I can at least deal with it a little bit, you know, where it's just like, okay, we're going to get the original dragon at least.
Right. There's something new. There's a reason to play this rather than picking up my Pokemon Diamond and playing that.
Your freshly bought Pokemon White.
Yeah. Right, my freshly bought Pokemon White, which has 6 shinies on it, by the way.
No, wait, really?
Yeah.
Wait. So
I'm gonna like, you know, test them.
Yeah,
so
so
they do have
just,
shinies on them.
So you just bought a brand new copy or a used copy
Pokemon White.
of
It's a
Pokemon
used
White.
copy. It's not brand new. It's brand new to me.
What are the Pokemon that are
came
shiny?
with. Is it in here, or does my wife have it on display somewhere? My wife probably has it on display somewhere. She was more happy about that than I was, if I'm honest.
It's like on the refrigerator.
But she's never played the Unova game, so she was happy to get that.
Hopefully she's playing it right now.
She's actually not. She's at work, and she's also said she's not going to play it yet. She's going to see what they're announcing on Pokemon Day.
I mean, even if it gets announced, you have like 8 months to play it. So
right.
Just play it.
Well, she's like, if they do some kind of spiritual sequel, like if they do a spiritual Black 3 and White 3, like we talked about,
then you're like,
she's like, I want to play Black and White, and then play Black 2 and White 2, and then have that game. Yeah. But yeah, so I got a Pokemon White. They've got a shiny Charmander, a shiny Bulbasaur, a shiny Venusaur, a shiny Squirtle, and a shiny Blastoise. So 5 shinies, not 6.
Yeah, that seems a little fishy.
That's what I'm saying. I was like,
yeah.
The only thing that made me less skeptical was the Blastoise's adamant nature. And I'm like, you wouldn't, if you're hacking this, you wouldn't be hacking.
Did it say what
adamant.
date the file was from?
I didn't look.
You can check the capture date, and it might say like 2012 or something.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I'll check it and see. Y'all know me with Hacktamons. I ain't sending it nowhere till I know what it is.
Yeah. That's cool.
Then
no. So wait, before we move on, I was gonna say, like, I think there's also a possibility that just like how we were kind of like weren't expecting the origin forms of Dialga and Palkia, I do think there's a possibility that like maybe they don't show us the original dragon, but they show us another corrupted form, right? Because it's like the forms we got of Kyurem were like incomplete. I could see some sort of mistake happening where Reshiram and Zekrom are fused together from like with some sort of like technology, but like that's not the true fusion. So we get some sort of ultimate beast fusion of them, right? It's like Colress's machine gone wrong. It's like, but they're missing the Kyurem element of it, right? I could see some sort of twist, and then the mystery of the original dragon, the legacy, the legend of it, still remains hidden, but we still get an additional dragon, part of that.
Or even like, you know, we talked about paradoxes a little bit.
Yeah.
We have like Zekrom, Kyurem, and Reshiram do fuse all 3 of them, but because it's artificial, because it's like done by the works of Colress and not natural, it's like a paradox of the
it looks like
original dragon. Like it's not like they
dragon.
state in game, this is not the original dragon.
Yeah,
this is like a man-made corruption of it, trying to recreate that.
Kind of like Type Null with Arceus, right? In the relation it has with Arceus. Yeah. I think we could see something like that. Yeah. 100%.
This is like some shenanigans. Pokemon post-Pokemon Day conversation.
Right, yeah. He said original dragon. He got it.
The game's not even announced yet. We're like, ooh, this game's
then
sick.
But that does remind me.
True, though.
Should shout this out. On Pokemon Day, we are doing a live stream at 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we're going to be talking about, we're doing this so we can digest the information. We're not just like, whoa, that was cool, and we actually have intelligent thoughts about it. So be there or be square.
And I will be live streaming the presents on DustyGogoat on my channel. Soul, are you doing anything live?
I don't know what I'm doing yet. Okay. I'm just like taking it all in, and I'm so busy when it all drops on Twitter. So I'm just like, I don't know, maybe.
So the game
Twitter
plan could
space,
be watch my stream on my channel, get a lunch break, and then you can head over to Hidden Power when we're live, and we'll be doing the breakdown, which is gonna be sick. Lumi's gonna be watching it offline. But then, do we have some more questions?
We have, well, not questions, but ideas. But we do
ideas.
have one more. It's from Azor Lunar Cloud, who I believe is also Azor Flute over on YouTube.
Yes. Great content.
They said, I expect them to announce some more new Pokemon for Unite, some raid info for Go, probably some new characters being added to Masters EX, telling us about where the World Championships will take place and some extra info there. And then I would like a non-mobile spin-off game to be announced, preferably a remake of Mystery Dungeon Explorers, because Rescue Team DX did do pretty well, and it's been a few years. But I would be fine to just see anything that is not a mobile game. As for the big reveal, I'm not even sure what to expect. Yeah. My dream would be a Johto-based game with Johto, Kanto, and Sevii Islands all in it, but I have all but given up hope on that.
Man, I would love a Kanto game. That's a different conversation, but
maybe
there's
wait
so
for
much...
the 30th anniversary.
Yeah. There's so much potential there.
Yeah, but yeah, that's all of them. So yeah,
good ones. I really liked that you did that, because I was thinking at the end here that we should have had, like, it's nice to have someone else's like view on it, or like what someone else is expecting. I almost want to be like, I wonder what other people are expecting. Because this is what we've been expecting this whole time. But
obviously, let us know in the comments below what y'all are expecting.
Well, my friend, let's see this. Where is this? Yeah, my friend Level 99 Pidgey in the hometown group chat. How would you guys feel if there were no mainline game updates? He literally just sent this 3 minutes ago, but they announced a spin-off maybe Mystery Dungeon or something in Gen 1 to 3 on NSO. So it's like we just get no game, but we get the ports.
No,
I'd be bummed. I'd be so.
I just want a new Pokemon, man, and I know they can't come in ports. So
yeah, he says that would be a success in my book. I really don't want them to mess up the Gen 5 remakes. Just a rust.
Yeah, that's most people's fear. Honestly, we should have touched on that a little bit, but I mean, that's most people's fears, that they're gonna mess them up. And I mean, the thing is, yeah, but also the thing is, people want a remake, and it's never gonna be what you had before.
Yeah, it's never gonna be a new.
Someone out there is gonna be upset because something is not there, or something is different.
Yeah, they want their remake to be a port, and it's like, just go play the old game.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like, we have a guy who comments on our stuff regularly and says that he hates Heart Gold and Soul Silver and deems Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl the perfect remake. And I'm over here like, wow, so they do exist.
You're like, oh, so they should have just played Diamond and Pearl. Like, that's all really that you wanted. But yeah, I would consider that a failure of a year, but it is still a possibility. That is a fifth or fourth option, whatever we have, is that we don't get anything, and it's just like ports and a spin-off.
Yeah.
That is the worst case scenario.
Especially if that spin-off is Mystery Dungeon.
Oh yeah.
I know there's a lot of people.
If there's no game and the spin-off is new Pokemon Snap 2, we might have something cooking.
Yeah, dude. We got a live stream new Pokemon Snap and actually play that. That'd be fun. But all right, well, let's
been long.
Let's thank our supporters.
Yep, I've got them pulled up here. We want to thank our mythical tier supporters, SEH Art Gold, Jasco, and Trash Panda, and a special shout out to our Arceus tier members, which is Drogain and Bramtastic. Thank y'all.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys. We got to do some sort of like, I think it'd be fun to do like a live, like a call-in show, with the secret Discord with our supporters. Maybe do it's like an AMA, kind of like what we just did. I mean, that's kind of what it is. But to actually give them the opportunity to come on the show to actually give their thoughts or whatever. I think that'd be a lot of fun to do.
That'd be great. Now we're about to hit a dry period, because after this announcement on Pokemon Day, we may not hear anything till August. Yeah. Maybe we'll luck out and get something in June. Yeah. But I mean,
we really appreciate all of the supporters. Thank you guys so much. We actually just took a huge hit to our income. We were making advertising or like ad revenue on Spotify but we're no longer getting that, so that stinks. It's just like it was a promotion that they kind of stopped. So at the moment, we did take a pretty big cut, but we appreciate you guys. You guys are helping us continue to make the show every single week. The show is growing. The community is growing. We're so thrilled to be able to do this every single week. Yeah, and we can't and let us know what you think is going to happen on next week on Pokemon Day.
Yep. See us at 2 EST PM.
See you
over
guys.
On here.
On here.
we need like an outro, like a.
And until next time,
it's a man.
It's a man. Wait, I think we should start with a prediction of: do we think there will be a terrifying Pikachu animatronic? Will they bring that back?
Oh God,
I
hope not.
I think we already have it. Here, let me show you right now. Look we already got this in the Presents trailer.
That is not horrifying.
No,
this is
not
pretty.
What we saw last
This
time.
is pretty weird. I was telling Lumi off camera, I think this might actually, this looks so unique to me. This looks different than anything else, any other Pikachu that we've seen. This might potentially be what the art style is going to be for the new game. Not seeing it? All right. So let's.
I think that's the same Pikachu they've always used.
It looks different.
That's what I thought,
it looks different to me.
Like, no, it's not. It looks different. I'm like, I don't think it does.
Maybe slightly updated.
Yeah, it looks different to me.